I just want a nice, hot, steaming bowl of rice. Hey you guys, welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan. Today is part 2 of my I tried low carb vegan for a week video series. If you haven't seen part 1, don't forget to check that out. I will leave a link to that down below and also in the top right hand corner of this screen. Part 1 is just me kind of explaining what I'm doing and also showing you guys a grocery haul of some of the things that I bought for this low carb diet for a week. And this video is basically showing you everything I ate for the first 4 days of the low carb vegan diet. And so this is essentially a what I ate in a week low carb vegan edition part 1. So let's get started. So for breakfast, I'm having a bit of a protein shake, or I guess you could call this a protein smoothie. I'm just adding a bit of almond milk into a blender, and I'm also going to use a protein powder. This is the Raw Fusion raw plant-based protein powder, and I'm also adding some like celery into this mixture just for some added nutrients. I'm just adding the part that you would normally throw out, like the celery leaves, but yeah. For lunch, I wanted to try and make a broccoli cream soup or cream of broccoli soup. So I'm adding some broccoli, some cashews, some coconut milk, and also some water, nutritional yeast powder, some vegetable broth powder, onion powder, garlic powder, and then we're just gonna mix that up. I'm gonna take it and bring it to a boil on the stove. And then when it came to a boil, I just kind of turned down the heat and let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so. And then I just transferred the contents into a blender, or this is a food processor actually. And then I just kind of like blended it out. Now I think I put a little too much into my food processor because it did leak or explode a little bit. Not explode, but it leaked. But you know, that is life. I wish I had an immersion blender that would make my life a lot easier. But anyways, that is how the soup turned out. I added some more nutritional yeast on top and it actually turned out really tasty, but I wish it was a little bit more creamy and less liquidy. So next time I think I might maybe add more cashews, maybe add more coconut milk, and also less water. And that's definitely not going to be enough food, so I'm also making a nut salad, I guess, nut and tahini salad. Here I am just taking some lemon juice that I squeezed and also some tahini and mixing that well. Then I added a splash of water just to make it a little bit thinner and easier to work with. And then I'm just gonna add some nuts into a container. I have some almonds, some cashews, and also some pumpkin seeds. And then I just directly put the dressing into the nut mixture. Now in hindsight, I would keep the dressing separately just because I didn't have this all in one sitting and I do find that the nuts got a little bit soggy. So I would definitely keep the dressing separately. I just wanted to make it like this so that it's easier for the future so I could just eat it with some salad as shown here. So that is my lunch. I have my salad with the nut salad, I don't even know how to describe it, and then the broccoli soup. And for dinner I had some salad rolls with some avocado, so it's just lettuce and carrots and celery and avocado and all that stuff. And then I actually made a soy sauce and vinegar dipping sauce. Usually I would just dip it in hoisin sauce and peanut butter mixture, or I'll dip it in like sweet chili sauce, but those are a bit higher in carbs, so that's what I did. And then I also had more of the soup. The soup was actually really delicious. I highly recommend trying this soup. And then for a snack, I had some smoked tofu pieces with some kimchi. Yes. Welcome to day 2, and look at me weighing out my food. This never happens, but here I am weighing out my mixed berries. So I'm having a mixed berry smoothie. I'm just adding some mixed berries and some almond milk and also some of this vegan protein powder. Also adding some hemp hearts as usual, and I also have some ice in there, and we're just gonna mix that up, and it turned out like this. Look how pretty it actually looks. And I'm also having an almond milk latte, I guess. I drink a lot of coffee, okay? And for a snack, I'm having some carrots and celery with a little bit of hummus. And for lunch, I had a stir fry. I made some tofu and vegetable stir fry. So I have a bunch of tofu in there. There are some carrots in there. There's some enoki mushrooms, some bok choy, and I guess I had some lentils left over, so I added that in there as well. And the sauce is a Korean barbecue sauce, which I always talk about. It's bulgogi sauce. I added that and also some soy sauce. And here is another little coffee. And for a snack, I had some of that leftover nut and seed salad. I squeezed some lemon and added some avocado and celery. And for dinner, I actually made a nut loaf, and I actually made some of it in this air fryer that I have, and it was super yummy. I am so happy with how this turned out. Yes, recipe is coming soon. But anyways, I had this nut loaf over a bed of spinach, and I added some ketchup, which is like no sugar added ketchup, and it was delicious, you guys. I definitely will show you guys how to make it. Oh, well, hello, it is day 3. We're having some more tofu. Surprise! We're having a smoked tofu. I guess you could call this a scramble or a stir fry. I don't even know. But it's basically smoked tofu and some like vegetables like broccoli and maybe some mushrooms. I don't even know. I also added some avocado, and that was my breakfast. And I also had some of that cream of broccoli soup left over, so I had some of that, of course. And of course, I'm having the same lunch as yesterday, which is the tofu and vegetable stir fry. And yeah, I just made 2 servings the day before, so I might as well have it again. And then I have, of course, another coffee with some almond milk. I think this is an almond milk cappuccino. And I'm having some more protein powder. Sorry if this is getting a bit repetitive, but you know, I'm just not used to it. So I just decided to blend the protein powder with a bit of water and some ice, and it kind of turned out weird. Like it wouldn't like blend in properly no matter how much I tried to blend it. It just kind of became a weird slushy thing, but it was okay. And for dinner, I actually ended up going out to eat. I went to my favorite vegan Vietnamese/Asian restaurant, and it was a bit of a struggle, but I got their tom yum soup with their tofu, and then this is one of their salads. I believe this was the mango salad, although I could be wrong. It could be their papaya salad, but basically it's just like a bunch of fried tofu, as you can see there, which was really yummy actually, and then just with a bunch of vegetables, and I'm just squeezing some lime on there. And yeah, it was actually really delicious, even though normally I would love to get pho, but you know, couldn't get it. But my friend gave me one of those fresh rolls, so yeah. Hello folks, I thought I would check in. It's day 4 of the supposed low carb diet, and I did screw up a couple times. Yesterday I definitely screwed up. Okay, first of all, I ate out dinner, so I'm not certain on the exact caloric intake and exact carb intake, but you know what, I still had something that I think is pretty low in carbs because there was no noodles or anything like that. But I did go to a Vietnamese restaurant and I did not order pho. That's called dedication, okay. But the only thing is that later on I was at my friend's house and they had some fries. Okay, they got McDonald's delivery and I had a few of the fries. So far I don't feel very different. Today's day 4, like I've just had breakfast. I don't think I feel any different in terms of like my energy levels or my body or anything like that. I think I've been doing a good enough job at sticking to a relatively low carb diet, although I'm very bad at counting calories and macros and all that because I'm just one of those people that likes to eat a lot of varieties. So like when I have a lot of variety and like put a lot of things into a plate, like the calorie counting is not necessarily accurate. Who knows? I am kind of disappointed at myself that I cheated yesterday because it definitely went over what was supposed to be my carb intake. However, sometimes things just happen and you don't even know how it happened. I don't even know how those fries just ended up in my hand. So far, it does suck. I'm not gonna lie, okay? I like carbs. What can I say? I like things that have carbs. And what I miss the most is rice. I just want a nice, hot, steaming bowl of rice. All I can ask for. It's only been 4 days, so I can't really complain. And I cheated yesterday, so technically I only did 2 days. Oh, and I also drank some wine. Ugh. I thought wine would be really high in carbs, but actually it's pretty low. It's just high in like calories in general because alcohol is a separate calorie source, if you did not know. Because I used to think alcohol was all carbs, but alcohol is a separate calorie, what do you even call it? Like, they have their own little categories. I believe it's 7 calories per 1 gram of alcohol. Even though wine has, you know, a certain number of calories, it actually isn't that high in carbs. So I did have like maybe 2 glasses of wine in the last 2 days. I just thought I'd let you know my struggles. It ain't easy, you know, it ain't easy to switch from eating 60% of your calories from carbs to like 25%. It feels like I'm on a diet and I don't like it. I don't like it. Alright, for breakfast, I'm having basically a bunch of leftovers. So that same breakfast from yesterday, which was the smoked tofu scramble kind of thing with vegetables. And I'm also having some of the nut loaf, which I had left over. And I'm just putting some ketchup on top. And this is the no sugar added ketchup. And then, of course, I have some salad on the side. And I'm having this zesty Italian dressing. So that's like very low calorie dressing. So that is what I'm having for breakfast. Not so bad, right? And for a snack, I decided to make a chocolate protein smoothie. I just have some chocolate protein powder in there, a little bit of cocoa powder, some non-dairy milk, and some extra soft tofu to make it like extra creamy. For dinner, I wanted to make a bit of a soup, so I have a tofu and vegetable soup. I have some tofu in there. I have a few red split lentils. I also have some bok choy, some zucchini, and I'm just bringing that to a boil. And I also wanted to try out these tofu shirataki noodles, which were disgusting. By the way, I do not recommend them at all. I'm just adding that in there, and I'm also adding some baby spinach. And I'm just gonna make a bit of a broth, I guess. I tried to make a broth. I don't know what I'm doing. I just have some gochujang, which is red chili pepper paste. I'm just thinning it out with some hot water before I actually throw it in the broth. And I also have some soy sauce in there as well. And I also added some mushrooms. I also have some enoki mushrooms in there as well. So yeah, I'm just cooking that up. And I just want to briefly talk about those tofu shirataki noodles for a second. So first of all, they're not like super terribly disgusting, but they definitely do not taste like any sort of noodles. The texture is very weird and they're 15 calories for a reason. Okay, anyways, here I'm adding some garlic powder and that's the soup. That's how it turned out and it tasted very healthy. It wasn't bad. It was pretty good, but I think I could have added some more flavor, maybe some vegetable broth powder in there, and definitely would be so much better with some noodles or some rice or something. Honestly, it just felt like the entire time I was just thinking this would be so much better with a bowl of rice, but that's what I had. And I still had some more nut roast left over, so I had the rest of that with some ketchup, and I probably ended up having about a third of that pot of tofu soup, and I had it with some kimchi, and like I said, it was pretty good, but could have used more flavor and rice. And I cheated a little bit because I had a fruit by the foot for a snack. Yes, it isn't low carb, but it's also not super high in calories, so I thought it would be okay. So that is it for my part 1 of what I eat in a week as a low carb vegan. Part 2 will be coming very soon, so don't forget to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, of course, click the like button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!